Welcome to another episode of Mine Explorers, where I am joined by Crystal and Blue, as usual, and special guests Cody and JP from Earth Drilling. Welcome.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Great to be here.
We've had some good guests on the show, but we haven't had anybody in drilling on yet. And basically, all of our projects involve drilling at some stage. We get involved either before or after or in the middle. And so it'll be really interesting to get your perspectives. We're excited to have you on.
Awesome. Thank you.
We are definitely excited to be here. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, if you could just take a couple minutes and just tell us about yourselves and introduction, what you do for earth drilling, and then we'll dive in from there.
Sounds
Go ahead,
good.
JP.
Yep. I'm JP Wegleitner. I'm the president of the Earth Drilling Group of Companies, which includes Harris Exploration in the US and on-track drilling in Western Canada. Second generation driller. I got into the drilling industry right out of high school in 1997.
So it looks like you came up through the ranks and have that boots on the ground experience, which is awesome.
Yeah, I have everything from being a driller to an operations manager in Northern Canada to acquiring Harris Exploration in 2022.
Very cool.
Wow,
Very
fantastic.
cool. How about you, Cody?
So Codi O'Brien, I handle business development. I mean, mostly for that Harris company down in the States. I actually started just in the industry up in Canada with traditional oil and gas, and then started with JP to possibly kind of help him with business development up in Canada. And then at the time, he asked me if I was cool traveling a bit. So once started heading down into the States and how, everything's just exploding down there. I honestly haven't done any BD for actual Earth in Canada, and I'm consistent within the States. So it has been an extremely cool transition. I thought that the industries would be very similar, but they're not at all. So mining is just so interesting. There's so much new stuff. Like the amount that I'm learning is just incredible. So learning from you guys, love your podcast and everything you post. So I learned so much from what you guys bring to the table. And yeah, so it's been a really cool journey, actually.
She uses the word BD, but she's nothing short of my VP in the US and does everything from bidding to BD to trade shows to everything involved in the company.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've definitely seen Cody around in Reno and Salt Lake and
Yeah, wrangling the drillers at the trade shows.
definitely in Canada and a couple places. So yeah, and it's such a wild industry. I mean, we are on the cutting edge of exploration with a lot of the land management and geology and stuff that we do. And we see those boom and bust cycles, and I know you guys are right behind us on a lot of that. And so it's wild just to see like rig availability and the fluctuations that you can get even month to month and things like that. It's wild. I mean, there's so much going on right now.
Yeah, Canada's busy as well for sure. Yeah, definitely. From everybody I've talked to through the industry, this is the largest bust or boom, excuse me, they've ever seen in the United States.
Yeah,
Wow.
the largest boom followed at some point by the largest bust.
Give us a couple of years,
Yeah.
though. We want to soak it in.
I'd like a 10-year run and then I can just retire and
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be great. But no,
That'd be
I
great.
mean,
10 years would do me well too.
yeah, 10 years would be great. I mean, it always ebbs and flows and we know that, but it's just so crazy for everything to be running at once. So we have, all this electrification. So copper's going crazy, copper's on a run. We have precious metals now, like way up today. Gold, silver's back above $80 an ounce. A lot of the gold miners are catching a bit. And then we have all this critical minerals push, which spans the whole area you guys operate in. And it's antimony, it's tungsten, it's gallium, germanium, rare earths, all of it. And it's all at once.
Yeah, definitely. Big time.
Yeah, is there like a prominent commodity that you guys are drilling for right now, or is it just kind of the spread of everything that's just hitting that critical minerals list?
No, in the last couple months, I've seen the widest spread ever. I've only been working in the United States since 2022. But yeah, everything from nuclear companies to tungsten to gold to everything you listed above. It's absolutely booming. So we're up to nine right now in the US and company-wide about 35.
Wow,
Wow,
that's amazing.
that's awesome.
Are you guys like flat out then? Just every drill is in the field or?
Yeah, we're a little bit in the breakup mode up here in Canada right now, so we'll go through our unthawing cycle here. So that'll last till probably end of May, where we'll see a little lull here as the snow subsides and stuff. But yeah, summer work, we are as busy as we've ever seen it, especially in our oil and gas business in northern Canada and the oil sands. So it's all good.
No, I bet.
Yeah, no, that's I didn't know you guys worked in that side of things, but
We
that is
do.
definitely booming. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Seems to be increasingly more so every day lately.
Interesting.
Yeah, I read yesterday that Trump authorized some new pipelines.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah, great news story.
Yeah, so that'll help you guys a lot out there in Alberta,
It
which is
will.
great. I
Yeah.
mean, we need to rely on our neighbors.
Yeah, as long as we get them in the ground while the Trump administration is still in,
Yep.
it'll be good. But we got a 3 year, still about 3 years, so should be okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
we
that's
feel
the
you
key.
there.
Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of these mineral projects and stuff too. People are getting into the Fast 41. They're getting their permits and everything expedited as quickly as possible so that they can get into production before things shift. But I think fortunately, a lot of the critical minerals push and things that's going on started prior to this administration. And so I think it's going to continue. A lot of the reshoring, building independent supply chains, things like that will continue past that. So that's good for mining, definitely.
It is big time.
That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, I didn't know you guys were exposed to the oil and gas side too. That's great. Good
Yeah,
diversification.
we are. Yeah, we had give or take 9 rigs in the Fort McMurray Athabasca oil sands this winter.
Wow.
Wow,
Very cool.
that
So,
is cool.
how deep are you going with those holes up there? I've never really read much about the drilling.
So I got to convert my meters to feet here. In Alberta, without a licensed BOP under the rig, we are only allowed to go 150 meters, which is give or take 500 feet.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing the difference in the different oil plays. So in the shales,
Yeah.
much more shallow because it's being mined, and then in some of these wells, I was talking to an operator in the Bakken, and 10,000 feet, then mile long horizontal drilling and different. It's just the
Yeah, it's
scale is
crazy.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so the drilling in the shale patch is probably a little more similar to what you see in other mining compared to that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
cool. We've done a little bit of drilling ourselves. We have a Shaw backpack drill. The
Oh
drill's
yeah.
1 inch core, and we've drilled to like 50 feet.
Do
Just
you guys
Crystal
want
and
it?
I. We actually have two.
I think it's terrible.
Yeah, it's real hard work. Everything's manual.
Yeah.
Our rods are 4 feet. We have 2 foot rods and 4 foot rods. So when you're tripping out of the hole, it's like 2 feet at a time, 4 feet at a time, and literally the mast is your arms, and you're pulling up on it and taking the
Oh
rods up.
yeah. It's a long day.
It is a long
We
day.
got a real appreciation for how hard drilling is
Oh,
doing
definitely.
that, and just like the manual labor aside, just figuring out getting the mud right
The
and getting the
fluids.
fluid right and
Yeah.
making sure that you have good conductivity and the flows are right, and then dealing with like holes collapsing and like rocks shifting on you and getting rods stuck and
Or running into aquifers you didn't know about.
just all the challenges that we found just drilling on such a small scale. It gave us a real appreciation for a lot of the challenges that you face on the big rigs. Like, it's not easy work.
No, no, it's not. No.
Absolutely. I think though, like drilling can be absolutely unpredictable, but we've worked really hard over the last few years to ensure that we have the right people and the right team. And really with that increased communication with the client, I feel like we can navigate through anything that comes our way and still kind of come out on the end with a successful drilling program. So that's what we've really been working towards, making sure we have those right people in the field. They're all so highly experienced and they just can, it's even JP, like JP again has tons of drilling experience. So anything that comes their way, they really can navigate around it with communication with the client and successful drilling programs.
Yeah. What does Bruno like to say about drilling?
What does he say? If you're not stuck in drilling, then you're not really drilling.
If you're not having challenges, you're not really drilling.
Yeah.
Something like that. He says it all the time. But
and to your point, Cody, like that's why it's so important for us to like work with competent people such as yourselves. So when we work together on a drilling program, like we know that the drillers can handle it for whatever whatever challenges may arise, because there's always going to be something. It's never smooth. And you're exactly right. Like having those A players on your team really makes a huge difference for any type of program you're running.
We talk about that a lot. And the nice thing is when we work together is we can manage client expectations. So we get clients occasionally who are newer to the industry. They've private equity or they are a newer listed company and they don't quite understand how it all works. And so we try to bake in contingencies and manage expectations of there's going to be challenges, there's going to be delays, whether it be in permitting or in drilling or at the lab when you're sending the samples in. Like there's going to be some delays. And so working together and managing expectations, it really helps a lot where we can make sure that things go smoothly even when they don't go smoothly, which is nice. But I was going to ask, so JP, with all your experience, do you ever have to still get out in the field and troubleshoot and solve problems?
You know what? With today's technology, a lot of that's able to be done via Teams and stuff, but I really am enjoying drilling in the United States. I enjoy the challenges of the remoteness of the sites.
Yeah.
I enjoy the meeting of the new people. I enjoy dealing with the state regulations from state to state.
Yeah.
So
You like all the hard stuff. That's awesome.
yeah, there's never a dull moment. There's 48 different sets of rules down there.
Yeah.
But looking at Nevada and some of the projects we're going to, like some of them are getting so remote and stuff now, accommodations, getting fuel, getting water to the equipment is every day is a lot of phone time. But no, I very much enjoy getting out there with the guys. And we've been able to adapt some of the, I don't want to say technology, but resources we've used in the Alberta oil sands to bring them down to the United States, especially in the uranium market and such, for, just different views on how the drilling's done and adapting some of that into some of the coring and stuff.
Yeah. I
Cool.
imagine there's some similarities being sedimentary and you'd see quite a bit of that. Because we've been in quite a few uranium mines here in Utah, and a lot of them are sedimentary hosted. They can be softer. Recovery can be a challenge when you get into some of the softer units and stuff. So I could definitely see that being applicable. But yeah, the remoteness. Nevada's a really big state, and there's a lot of Nevada with no people in it.
There's a lot of Nevada with no people in it
Yeah.
and no water.
And no water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're going back to places where the hotel hasn't been opened since the late 70s, right? So
So what do you do with that? Do your guys camp? Do you bring trailers? How do you manage your team?
Yeah, all of the above.
All of
The
the
guys
above.
a lot of times are taking trailers out now, and then yeah, but there's still the accessibility of food and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So there's a couple projects coming up that's definitely going to be a challenge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really depends on the team too. Some of our teams really prefer to have their trailers and,
Yeah.
be on site or be closer in that respect. Gives them a little bit of a family appeal too. If their say wives or kids are coming along with them. And then
Yeah.
other crews, they prefer staying in the hotel. So again, really depending, and we really like to make sure that we work around them too, making sure our crews are happy and the way that they prefer to set up their program as well. So it just makes everything smooth.
Cool. So you guys have families come out on drilling programs too, like the whole kit and caboodle.
I think
Yeah, like
some
the
people
guys
take-
stay at a campground. They bring their wives, their kids, and they
Oh, how
camp
cool.
while they go drill all day or night.
Huh.
That's
Well,
very
that's kind of
cool.
nice because then they're not away from their family. I mean, obviously they still will be during the workday, but they can kind of like go
Yeah.
home in a sense.
Yeah.
Oh, very
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
balance, I guess, right?
Yeah, family balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For our viewers who are less familiar with drilling, exploration programs can run the whole gamut from, 1,000 meters in a program to 100,000 meters in a program. So a drilling program can last from just, sometimes a few days to a few weeks to several months or longer, where one program rolls into another, rolls into another, rolls into another. There's some programs here in the US that have been going on for 5 years almost contiguously, with maybe a few breaks here and there to stop and reinterpret results and stuff. But so yeah, logistics and being a driller, you can be out and away from your family for a long time. So it's really great if you can bring them along. There's tons of opportunities to learn while you're out for the family and get to experience different cultures.
No, definitely.
If you've ever stayed in a place like Tonopah, you can it's a different culture.
Yeah.
You guys laugh. You've been there.
Oh, for sure.
I love Tonopah.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Tonopah, you're not drilling in Nevada.
No. It's like the heartbeat of it. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it's funny. Tonopah is it's very similar to a lot of places in Nevada where you'll have a really hard time getting a hotel room from Monday to Friday, and then the weekend they all open up because it's just all drillers in there. You see all their white trucks lined up, and yeah, it's not uncommon for me to roll into town and see Harris trucks there. They're in town. Yep. Usually leaving 5, 6 in the morning and back after sunset.
Or earlier. Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exciting. So, RC drilling, are you seeing an increase in RC drilling over the years? We've noticed a lot. The Australians kind of brought it over, and now it's starting to be used more often. I was just curious if you've seen an uptick in RC.
Massively. Also an uptick in coring, but not only that is the size of the programs. The programs have gone from 5 or 6 thousand feet to now we're seeing them north of 100,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, that's right on par with what we've been saying about the deposits are getting deeper as we go because all of the low-hanging fruit's been mined already.
Deeper, yeah, and
Deeper,
grades are trickier, the
less
low-hanging
accessible.
fruit, so you've got to drill more.
Yeah,
You do.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at some, we're working with Resolution down in Arizona, and when you're looking at an ore body that starts at 6,000 feet, there's just no way around racking up a lot of footage. And they can do some of that from underground, which is nice, but that's a lot of infrastructure too to build that out where they can actually deploy rigs underground to do more drilling. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, that the underground mining, that just is incredible to me. We're not in that market yet. JP, I don't know if that's something that you're wanting to.
I think we'll stay above ground, but yeah.
There's plenty of work to do above ground, and underground gets pretty specialized. I mean,
Definitely.
your constraints that you mentioned before, water, food, getting crews down and everything, it all just takes on a whole new dimension of complexity when you're drilling underground, especially like tooling, rigs, all your equipment, everything's got to be MSHA certified to be underground. Like it's
Well, and fit in the tunnel as well, because they're not always
compact.
massive.
Yeah, some of the rigs you got to assemble underground. It just adds a whole new dimension to complexity. But yeah, that's interesting. So are you seeing a blend of RC and coring on a lot of programs now?
I would say yes. I'd almost say we're seeing more. Well, I don't know, Cody, are we seeing more coring than RC? It's a blend of substantially big programs.
Yeah, I would just say the reason why we're seeing more core than RC is because we have more core rigs, right?
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
I have had a lot of chances and opportunities to bid on multiple RC programs, but the ones that we've got lined up are really going to take over, I'd say, the rest of the year. And we've currently acquired a couple new LF90s on the core side. So we were able to work with different clients and bring a couple new people on, and also being able to extend other clients' programs as well. So I'd say that's probably the difference. There has been lots of jobs where they're looking for both rigs. That's what kind of JP was talking about before with bringing down rigs that we have in Canada, say like mud rotaries that can do the RC portion as effectively or even more. So we're combining programs in that way. So coring and maybe like a mud rotary rig on site instead of our RC rig. But yeah, that's kind of, I'd say, what we're seeing. Hey, JP?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're working on a tungsten project here in Utah, and talking with the geologists and the executives of the company, figuring out what an ideal blend is of RC and coring and what's the most cost-effective way, and kind of staging. Do we do a few core holes first and then come back in RC for grade? Do we do RC first and then core some of it? So it's always kind of an interesting discussion. And obviously every deposit and every commodity type is different, and some of it's trial and error. I mean, the drilling industry has really evolved on trial and error. You really don't know what you're going to run into till you put a hole down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely. I
fascinating.
think last year, JP, we definitely did programs where we started with Korean or RC and then ended up, with the other type of rig. But this year, not so much. It's just
No,
one or the
or the
other.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, moving back to that, we do have the core rigs, RC rigs, sonic rigs in the States, like fully all to full time. And then again, we're pulling down some rigs from Canada, like the mud rotaries, additional sonic rigs as well, to be able to help people with their programs and be successful with moving their program forward.
Cool. Sonic
Interesting.
rigs. I didn't know you had Sonic rigs.
Yeah, I
Good
didn't
to
either.
know.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
sir.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we use Sonic on oil and gas, or not oil and gas, sand and gravel.
We're not
Oh,
in
of
oil and
course.
gas.
Yeah, yeah.
Sand and
Great tool
gravel.
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any kind of placer stuff, which could be interesting. We're looking at a couple placer, potential placer projects for critical minerals, which is interesting. One placer tungsten deposit, and then some rare earths in placer, which I think Sonic would be pretty interesting for. Um, yeah, Sonic's really cool. Crystal and I had the opportunity way back in like 2013, 14, early 14, to go see
Geoprobe.
GeoProbe's factory in Kansas,
Nice.
and got to see how they build the rigs. And this was like earlier in the Sonic days. Sonic's come a long ways, but they had some new rigs out. Just it's Kansas, so they were literally just out in the back lot, drilling 100 meters in an hour or two in the soil. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah, and we've got to deploy it several times throughout the United States, mostly for sand and gravel, but frac sand, gypsum, things like that. It's been pretty useful. It's cool.
Definitely.
I think
Yeah.
it's worth mentioning too that our sonic rigs do have diamond capability. So depending on the ground, what the formation is, what the conditions are, sonic's really good for exactly what you're just saying. But we can also drill through harder rock as well. So it is, yeah, it's important to mention that we do have that capability. So we can kind of start a hole with the regular sonic and then switch over to the diamond and be able to continue on past that. So I would say the sonic portion up in Canada, you guys, JP, are amazing like that. And then we have so many sonic rigs up here. And then now that it's becoming a little bit more like prominent and in the States, we can pull down more as needed. And I think that's kind of cool too.
That's
Yeah, absolutely.
interesting.
Yeah, we've found so sonic. Sometimes we use like direct push for overburden classification, basically just figuring out the volumes of overburden over a site. But we've found in some cases usefulness in being able to do like sonic down and then core just a few feet to classify the bedrock and see what's in it, do some geochem, things like that. It kind of adds some usefulness, but that's really good to know. So probably one thing that's worth mentioning to our viewers is as things get busier, I think you guys will agree, book early, engage you guys ASAP, get on the schedule, don't delay. You know, permitting, there's permitting lead times and things like that, but getting rigs and getting everything planned out could potentially take longer as things get busy. So
I
definitely.
would say right now, without the addition of any new rigs, we're booked about a year out.
Wow. And are
Yeah.
you seeing that from your competitors as well?
I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was in Elko a couple weeks ago, meeting with a few of them, and yeah, they're singing the same song. They're actually sad to see that they have to disappoint some of their smaller clients just because the bigger clients are putting such a grasp on the rigs that they're not letting them go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it becomes a bottleneck pretty quickly. So engaging early is key. A lot of people think the bottleneck's getting the permits to drill, but when things really heat up like they are now, getting the rigs and getting engaged to do that's definitely a bigger bottleneck potentially, especially right now.
I
Definitely.
do think though, it's really a great time and an exciting time in the industry for all the drillers to raise the bar a bit and to really increase our communication and how we partner with our clients. I think communication now is probably the biggest thing that needs to happen on almost a
Right.
weekly. Of course, we want to make sure that our current clients are taken care of. So they're getting their results back and they're wanting to extend. We'd love to help them do that. It's hard to obviously plan your pipeline if you're just kind of waiting until people are saying, yeah, we'd love to extend the program. So I've really upped our communication, making sure that kind of week by week, we know what their intentions are, what their plans are, so that if they don't really have an intention to extend, then I can go ahead and pull somebody else in and be able to help them move their program forward. So I do think that that communication is so important, more important now, I feel, than in
Definitely.
No,
past.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
managing expectations, communication, that's a great point. We see that too with what we do. I mean, we don't have big rigs to move and crews, but we do have crews that are doing geology and claim staking and things like that. And definitely we're booking out and we'd like to do a lot of the smaller stuff, but we do get sucked up by bigger clients and end up doing things. So managing that's key, but definitely in a few cases in the past, we've had clients drag their feet on extending a drill program and then lost a rig to another project and then said, "Oh no, we need you to stay. Can you stay?" And they're like, "No, we've already made other commitments.
We're gone.
Can't. We have to leave. We can come back, but yeah, and it is, it is what it is. You can't wait around forever because you've
Yeah.
got a
That's one of the
business
biggest
and
challenges Cody and I have seen as of late is clients extending their programs and holding a loyalty to the client that's had the rig for 6 months or a year. and then, immediately trying to backfill for another client we committed to without disappointing the client we're currently drilling for. Like we're not seeing any solid end dates on projects right now, which is making scheduling and booking very, very difficult and for planning purposes, which is, hence why we're adding more rigs and trying to evolve with the market.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your job is at its core, you're a logistics company.
Pretty much,
I
yeah.
mean, it's
Oh yeah.
logistics, it's water, it's people, it's supplies and equipment, it's getting it from point A to point B and scheduling and all that. And then obviously layered on top of that's all the technical expertise and ability and the A players and the team that you have. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's a lot of logistics for sure. I mean, it's amazing to see a program come together and execute, and everything from the planning and the permitting to coming in, cutting the roads, doing the drilling, doing the reclamation, leaving, and especially programs that happen in just like a few weeks and it's like nobody was ever there. You've got a bunch of data, you've got a bunch of core now. It's super cool to see it come off.
It
Oh
is.
yeah, that's like the best part. The most exciting part I feel is that you literally come in to what was nothing to a successful delivery and a successful drilling program. I just love that part of the exploration side. And I love actually being able to work with companies like you as well, even back to the logistical part, because that's just another layer instead of just coming from us to the client to be able to make sure everything is lined up and logistically it all makes sense and
Yeah.
the client's expectations are being managed on our side and your side, right? So I do love that extra layer when companies do involve companies like yours. It's just makes it a lot easier.
Good. Yeah, we
Yeah.
love that too. Yeah, we
Yeah.
love to, make it as smooth as possible for the client. Like we want to control everything except for the geology. We're just here for results, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can't control the
We
results
can't control the
of the
results.
geology, but we can definitely make everything else smooth. But I feel like our logistics is a piece of cake compared to what you guys have to deal with because we're like, all right, how do we handle the core? And if we to cut the core, the cuttings or whatever, we need to make sure we have geos there to staff the rigs and stuff, and they have logistics too and accommodations, we need to sometimes we need to pull down a trailer, they camp or we have a hotel or whatever, but we don't have to like secure thousands of gallons of water a week and
Not always.
drilling
Sometimes we do on
fluid and
behalf of the drillers. Yeah,
yeah,
we definitely help out when
bring
we
in low
can.
boys with equipment and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's so many different layers. Our operations manager James Hikamoto, he kicks some serious butt at that. So making sure again having the right people on your team that have those mad skill sets. Because some people, I'm a salesperson. I'm not. My skill set is not admin. And so everybody has what they bring forth. So we have worked really hard over the last few years to make sure that we have the right people. We're acquiring the right people. I've seen you guys have hired a few new people too. I know that geos right now are far and few in between in the industry. So I feel like that's probably a point of contention for you guys too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
on every show we have had for the last couple of weeks, we have advertised like if you want to work for us in the geo department, by all means, submit your resume.
Yeah, I imagine a good exploration geologist is similar to like a good foreman to run a rig. Like
Yes.
they're worth their weight in gold and they're
You
hard to
keep the good
find and
ones. Yep.
they're in competition for sure.
Yeah, speaking of staffing, I mean, how has it been on your side? Are you guys able to find good people to work with you?
You know what?
Okay.
Shockingly, it's getting better day by day. Fortunately, we have some of the what I'd say most passionate guys in the industry who live, eat, and breathe drilling. So through acquiring newer equipment and just the workload, like the drilling space is nothing short of being a doctor or a lawyer as far as the pay grade goes right now. So
Right.
it's it's not so much it's just a blue collar industry anymore. It's evolving into a well-paying, very sustainable industry for the guys. So it's a great place to be.
Yeah, it requires similar to a doctor or a lawyer, your problem solving abilities have to be top
Yeah.
notch
Oh,
because you're
definitely.
solving challenges all the
Well,
time.
and then the safety too. I mean, you're dealing with dangerous equipment day in, day out.
You
Like
are.
you have to be on top of your game.
Yep, and long hours
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you've definitely got to be sharp on it. So tell us a little bit about the evolution between Harris exploration and earth drilling, and kind of how that whole process is unfolding and what the future looks like.
Yeah, it was funny as we came out of COVID. Um, I found myself in a space where Canada was in a bit of a lull at the moment, and we were looking to acquire a company in northern Canada, and that kind of fell to the wayside. And I happened to call a friend of mine, and I seen the U.S. was booming, and I had actually gone down to a GSN meeting, and just walked in there as a average Joe, and people were coming out of the woodworks asking me on rig availability, rig availability, rig availability. So I called a friend of mine who had done a whole bunch of work in the United States and made an introduction between me and Pat Harris, and we were able to acquire him. Yeah, what does the future look like? The future looks like, as Cody said, we've added a couple new rigs. I would say organically growing right now with people constraints and the rest of it will be the tricky part. Will we point our heads towards possibly looking to do an acquisition or something? Maybe so, because then you acquire people, you acquire management, and you acquire equipment. But with the industry so booming right now, it's hard to find anybody that actually wants to sell.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. That's and you'll pay a premium if you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be a 5 or 6 times multiple right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the challenge.
Probably a good time to just point out, just as we were talking about how they acquired Harris. So again, we have been running in the States as Harris Exploration, but we are in the midst of doing a bit of a rebrand. So it will be Earth Drilling Canada, Earth Drilling USA. Right now, we're doing business as Earth in, say, Nevada, and we're looking at getting that, in California and Arizona, wherever we're at right now as well. So that's kind of like the interim step. And yep, just kind of, you'll see some new additions on LinkedIn and yeah, some more just constant, consistent, steady communication with our clients, just like you guys do. You guys kill it with everything you're doing here and on your LinkedIn page and right, Crystal, all the things you guys post. It's just so
Yeah.
much great information. I learned a ton. So we're gonna yeah, pick up our game and trying to make sure that people understand kind of the history, where we're headed. And yeah, the rebrand just wants to really to position us to be that consistent, stable, trustworthy, and just being able to really continue building those relationships we have, and obviously create new ones too.
Very cool.
That's awesome. Very exciting for you guys. Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're in a good spot, and we are too. I mean, we're all everybody who's providing services to exploration right now is going to be we're going to be busy for a long time. I mean, at least
Yeah.
3 years, probably more like 10. I think there's so much going on, and
I've been in the drilling industry 30 years and seen a lot of boom and bust cycles.
oh, you have,
When
yeah.
you look at the markets, when you've got all-time highs on gold, silver, copper, et cetera, to your point, tungsten coming into play, this and that, some of the turmoil in the world right now. I truly believe this one's here to stay for like 10 years. Agreed with you on that one.
Cool.
That's awesome.
That's what we've been
So
hearing too.
one of our repeating kind of themes and things we talk about a lot on this show is AI and robotics and things like that. And obviously, you're in a very insulated industry. I know Epiroc and others are testing automated rigs and stuff that do very basic drills for blasting and stuff. And so I think it's going to take a very long time for AI and robotics to be able to man an exploration rig and staff it. But I'm curious to see what you think the future holds for exploration drilling.
Great question. I don't think Cody does a single bid right now that she doesn't, once it's done, reference AI on. So it's a very handy tool for that. for your point, as far as robotics and that coming into play, maybe more so in the underground market. As far as more the junior above ground market, I agree. I don't think we'll see it in our careers. As far as like automated pipe handling and those things, yeah, all that stuff's coming into play where it's less of a manual job and a little less hard on the back and stuff and makes it easier for the guys. But like to full AI and that type stuff, I think we're years and years out on the above ground market.
Yeah, I like to think about no matter how you slice it, even if the rig's fully automated, somebody still needs to be around that knows how to fix it and troubleshoot it and decide, what can and can't be done and have that instinct for the geology, the conditions. I mean, a good operator can feel the rig and they can feel what kind of ground they're in. They can feel if there's any issues. They can feel how the engine's running. And I know AI can do a lot of that with sensors and things, and it can help. But the replacement for that experience and intuition is a long ways out.
Long ways out. Yeah, agreed.
But I mean, actually, ever since Sue and you were planning one of your trips and you used AI to kind of plan it out, that's when I really started diving in that end. I was like, oh man, using it, for that capability too. But I actually sometimes use it just even to test JP's knowledge. And I'm just oh, he'll tell me what he thinks, and then I'll ask the same question in AI and see what if they're comparable. It does surprise me all the time. I mean, I think that using
That
it,
I'm smarter than AI.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, of course, right. But no, it is such a great tool, especially for somebody like me who's consistently learning.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to be on site and to be, watching JP and doing what he's doing and listening to, what they're talking, the programs through. But of course, that doesn't happen. So for me to be able to dumb it down a bit and then understand the program in its entirety, it's been super helpful for me on that end too.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely use it in our bidding. We use it in just reviewing contracts and NDAs and
Oh, I
stuff,
use it every day.
finding things like
Yeah.
that. And then the data interpretation is interesting because I'll send data to our geos and then I'll run it through Gemini and have it do a deep dive and even just like a table of assay results in a spreadsheet. And it'll pick out unexpected things and find patterns that I think a human would have a really hard time with. So there's definitely a lot that can be done there. I just see in the future AI being used a lot on the front end of exploration and a lot on the back end, the interpretation. But there's this chunk in the middle where you're actually out in the field collecting data that's gonna be manual and gonna be done by humans for a very long time.
Oh,
100%.
And we all operate kind of in that space. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I think AI is quite a ways away from grabbing a sample out of a wet splitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or even just we had not an issue but just a question lately from one of our clients, and we were doing some sonic drilling and they wanted us to pull in a core rig, and so everybody was busy, so I was plugging the situation into ChatGPT and figuring out what it came to me with. Seemed like a really feasible solution until of course we meet with the client. JP's listening to everything and he's like, oh crap, nope, that won't work because of this. Whereas that's the part that AI doesn't understand when you don't
Yeah.
have that hands-on experience, right? So yeah, and I know that JP said before that he, obviously is doing lots of team stuff, but he still goes out to most every single kickoff and he does a site visit and he's making sure that he understands every single part of the program with the client, like right from day one. So it really makes a difference for that increased communication, and he understands everything from the ground up. So it makes the program run smoother.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, getting that on the ground feel is so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a
Especially for the
site visit.
logistical
Yeah.
stuff like you guys were talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
You really can't understand, water sources or rig moves or all those other determinants unless you're actually there to see, to visually plan it out and to make sure those logistics make sense.
Yeah, we learned a lot of that early days claim staking, like understanding the terrain and stuff, I'd look at Google Earth and I'd be like, oh yeah, this should take us like a day or two. And you see a little bit of vegetation and you're like, that's not a big deal. You know, the hills aren't that steep and that's all you pay attention to. And then you deploy and you get on the ground and you're like, all those little brushes, like all that brush is all cat's claw. And you're like, your clothes are shredded and you're bleeding all over like an hour later. And you're like, hey, I thought this would take 2 days. It's going to take 2 weeks.
We actually make it a point for anyone on our landman side, the claim staking side, if they're in office just making the maps, is we make a point to get them out in the field to look at the project that they laid out the claim block for and say, like, this is what it looks like in real life. So when you're laying this out, you think a little bit more intuitively of like, okay, this is how it looks on the topo. This is how it looks in Google Earth. This is how it probably looks like when you're actually out on the ground. Yeah, that has really helped our programs.
Yeah, because on a map, you can be like, I want to put a hole here and I want to stick a rig up here.
Yeah.
And it looks totally feasible on the map. And then you get out on the ground and you're like, there's this huge ravine here and that slope's never going to work. And we got to cut a mile of road in to get up there. And now you've exceeded your permit. And
boots on the ground is so critical throughout like the entire exploration program.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So critical. Lots of time driving in the trucks, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that Bruno feels very strongly about always getting out on site to programs, just like you, JP, like, you know, because we do a lot of the permitting and he's like, I don't ever want to write a permit that I haven't seen on the ground before we submit it. And it's such
absolutely.
a crucial step. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Cool. It was very, very fun having you guys on and having a conversation today.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah,
Awesome.
super great, super fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And for the viewers out there, if you have any questions, comments, drop them below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks.